yes, in order to see the chat, and maybe there will be question on the chat. In the chat. So hello everybody, nice to meet you with Elena here and Funda. We are all those, we are part of a project, an action code with in European language, which called PWIL. In fact, this session will be divided in two parts. First, I will present the frame of the project, PWIL project, and the objective. And also, after that, Eleni will present the gender equality plan, on which she's working. And after that, we will have a second part, the most important part. We propose to have an interactive discussion to share the challenges faced by women platform workers in the delivery sector. Also we will discuss on how co-create a repository of alternative platform with a special focus on special intersectional approach and feminist approach. How we can maybe co-create this, and for the second part, I think it would be important to clarify our position. Maybe you can see, Raquel, you can see few words.
Yes, that's the idea, is that maybe we can write one document to clarify the objective of PWIL about this session, because we are two kind of people, no? Academics and practitioners. To really do it horizontal, maybe we can just make a few words saying which is the objective of the session, and what PWIL will do with this data, or we cannot do with this data. So discuss here if everybody is agreed in that we can use this data or not, can use the objectives of this session or not, and also to ask the people that we are here to know how we are comfortable or not with this situation. No? For example, that is important for us that everybody, a horizontal situation, no? That everybody know each other and know the intention of each other, and just we write some words, and then we sing the people of PWIL, and then some of us that you choose, like a representative, or I don't know how, and just we put clear what is the intention of this session. And also write that if in the future we can do other things, those must be also must be the possibility to talk again with the people and to get another accord. No? In this case, we know that the things that will happen here are not the objective to do some diffusion in other channels, or nobody here will be treated like an object and not a person. And we know that there's something ethic and human between persons, and no degrees between academics and practitioners. That is my perspective.
Okay, right. What is PWIL? PWIL is the cross-section, but it's not really that which is important. It's the objective, And the main objective of PWIL is to build international multi-stakeholders network, including researcher, academic, practitioner, militant, organization of civil society, and so on, policymaker, maybe, to address the challenges of exclusion dynamic of platform work by promoting alternative model in the frame of platform work. In fact, the objective is really to promote research advancement and improving the scalabilities of inclusive platform to be later maybe translated into policy recommendation at the end of the project. In fact, this project is based on two realities, observation. First one is about the gender blind, that sees the lack of studies and proposal from gender perspective and on traditionally excluded collective. So these studies in fact demonstrates that also platforms may offer easier access to the labor market to people who are excluded because of gender bias, for instance, and offer greater flexibility to combine work with care. In fact, studies, data collections, and reports from relevant European research institutions, you have some example, show that in reality, platform work tends to reproduce inequality that are common in all labor markets, including horizontal segregation in feminized and masculinized sector, gender pay gaps, lower work intensity for female workers, and perpetuates, in fact, the unequal sharing of care responsibility in households, for instance. In fact, we have very little research, academic research, that consider topics such as paid versus unpaid activities, the large invisible work in platform work, the necessity to consider the connection between historical trend on domestic labor and on-demand service platform. For instance, there is one exception, there is of course fewer exceptions, and particularly a recent article wrote by Ivana Paz and Patricia Zanoni show how, in fact, the care sector is really important to really understand how the dynamic of inclusion is working in platform work, because it's a sector traditionally feminized and so on. So we can also note the marginalization of gender in policy debates on the platform economy. And the illustration of that is the recent efforts to regulate platform labor in the European Union through, I don't know if you know about the European directive on improving working conditions in platform. In fact, the directive, of course, is the outcome of labor struggles that have taken place during the the past years against the misclassification of platform workers as independent, self-employed contractors, and also the non-transparent use of algorithm in human resources management. So the first objective of this directive is to regulate the employment status of workers in digital platform. And so this will empower workers designated as self-employed to demand employees status from platform, and so access to social protection and so on. The second objective of the directive is to regulate the use of algorithm in management by imposing rules, clear rules that promote transparency in automatic decision making, enable the monitoring of algorithm by human experts, and provide the right of worker and labor union to contest automated decision based on algorithm embedment. So, of course, it's really a great step to improve work condition, but in fact, the result is, as some writer show, I report here 2 articles that demonstrate that in fact, if we approach the text from a gender perspective, it becomes apparent that the text is gender blind. In fact, it perceives platform worker as a unified labor force. So in the text there are few references to gender or to women, for instance, and important issues like work-life balance, equal pay for equal work, sexual harassment, intersectional gender discrimination, or paid maternity leaves, for instance, are mentioned but not considered, in fact. So the text really silence the diverse experiences of platform workers, especially those of women. And they presuppose the homogeneous labor condition across all member states and the sector of the platform economy. So the second observation is that most research has largely focused on profit-oriented model, while alternative models as cooperativism, for instance, are under research. As we know that platform economy can be based on mainstream profit-oriented platform model known as capitalism platform, as well as alternative models around cooperativism and democratic organization known as platform cooperativism. Each of these models has different consequences regarding traditional excluded community, in fact. So I put here references of studies or reports that try to understand how alternative model can work, how they can be. Maybe you have a study from Mario Foster-Moel, who is chair of the P-Wheel Action. I led also a study in the French context to try to understand the economic model that can support different alternative model. You have also a recent report, I think FAIR participate, which called Solidarity, a platform model, I think, and you can have free access of this. And something that will be very interesting will be the work on intersectional platform research, led by Raphael Grohmann in sector of delivery and technology, where the different initiatives are described. The description are co-elaborated by researcher and also by platform worker. And the report is not online, but we have the launch event, an online launch event of this research project. I think it's really very interesting, and the online launch is in August, I think the 29th. Okay, so it could be very interesting to follow.
It's open to everyone?
Yeah. I can send to you the link that Raphael sent and share in order just to put your email and you receive the link. I think it's really interesting. In fact, based on those two observations, gender gap and capitalism platform hegemony, the objective of PWIL is to address the challenges of exclusion dynamic of platform work from an intersectional gender perspective and by promoting alternative models. We already, the PWIL action has already produced online stakeholder map. You can also have the access to this, and these stakeholder maps try to redefine all the concepts from an intersectional feminist perspective. With Fonda, we are co-leader of a specific working group in this action, which dedicated to platform work models, and our aim is to move the debate beyond mainstream platform economic cases and explore organizational initiatives based on commons and traditional trends as cooperativism or associationism also. So not really the same thing, in fact. And to create a researcher and practitioner network implicated in alternatives model. So we have a first initiative last October in Paris with conference gendering platform. There were Mensaka and also Brazilian and Argentine alternative platform as Senorita Curies, Laboral Trans. They were with us, so it was really great. I have all the documents, but it's not online because I will send them when it will be ready to be published on the website of PWIL Action. And now our objective is to co-elaborate an online repository on alternative platform with researchers and of course with initiatives and female workers that agree to participate. And it's about this we will speak during the second part of this session. And now I'll leave the floor to Elena to present the gender map of PWIL. Yeah? Okay. It's okay.
Is this being presented in the Google Meet?
No.
Okay.
Can you just make sure that in the presenter, in the slides, there is no automatic change?
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes,
I think it's no. It's not?
Okay.
Okay. No, I don't think you can move like here and here. Yeah, with
Okay.
this too. Okay. Everybody is then okay?
Yes.
No? Okay. Let's continue.
Okay, so good morning, everyone. I'm Eleni Meletiadou. I'm an associate professor with a focus on gender equity, diversity, and inclusion. I'm also JD Research Group Director. I have my own research group on gender equity, diversity, and inclusion. But I'm here representing PWIL as its gender equality coordinator. And I will present the gender equality plan that we recently created. So I was appointed in this position a few months ago, but already we have a first good draft of the gender equality plan published on our website. This is of course going to be updated as we move on. So basically, what our gender equality plan is a roadmap, which is evolving as the action is continuing as well. And our ambition is to embed equity in every aspect of the cost action. So basically what we bring is not only academics, but also practitioners, and that is why we are here, to bring these two worlds together, to make sure we collaborate, to make sure we do the best that we can in terms of the action, in terms of research as well. So basically what we want to do is to make sure that, first of all, our internal structures as PWIL cost action basically reflect our values, and the values are basically inclusion. So this gender equality plan that we created, it's not about ethics, it's about enabling innovation, it's about enabling diversity of thought, it's about excellence. Excellence in research, but also in practice, as we try to remove cultural barriers, as we try to remove structural barriers as well, which exist no matter what we are doing. So we want to embrace both women, but gender diverse individuals as well. And we do know that these people face systemic challenges that are there, that are inbuilt in every organization. And what we are trying to do is to make sure that they have better opportunities in terms of leadership, but also in terms of moving in different interdisciplinary fields. So PWIL, what it's trying to do is to make sure that it promotes a set of actions that enable equity, participation, but also visibility for underrepresented genders. And it's not only about women, it's about other people as well. So a key element of our gender equality plan is basically to make sure we promote change, meaningful change. And this can only be done through collaboration and through reflection and evaluation, which is continuous in our case. So, reviewing our gender landscape within PWIL, what we can see is that we include 208 women, 103 men. So men are underrepresented. Okay, this is because this is what our field is. Okay, we have a lot of women, and we also have 41 individuals who do not disclose their gender, which is a bit problematic, because you see people who are trying to silence, to hide their identities. Okay, so we do have a notable 50-50 gender split in our leadership team, which is very important. We want to make sure we have both genders represented in our leadership team, but we don't know about representation of other genders, okay? We also, in terms of our early career researchers, because we want to focus on them and support them in every way we can, both in terms of academics and researchers, but practitioners as well. People who are just starting out, who need support, who need help, who need assistance to move on with their careers, who need more opportunities. There we can see that we have 82 women compared to 40 men, because this is our field. Our field is female dominated, okay? And there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, and what I would like to note is that we don't have participants that identify as non-binary or other genders, okay? This is a limitation that we will try to address because we want more inclusive data, okay? As you can see, people are not willing to talk about their own identities if they don't identify as female or male. This is something that we need to work on. So what we are trying to do is to address these gaps. And how do we do that? By monitoring first of all, gender representation, and we are trying to do that on an annual basis. By promoting gender balanced panels, already we have that, because as you can see in our leadership team, we do have balance. By launching outreach campaigns, both in male-dominated research fields, and by encouraging diversity in all intersectional levels. So our aim is to make sure that we have a more balanced and a more inclusive action. So what we are trying to do is to promote structural change, to make sure that we take on some strategic actions that will have clear objectives and timelines. So we want to make sure that we promote gender equity in leadership, and we will do that by maintaining a gender balanced management committee, okay, with a goal of at least 40 representation of each gender. We will try to raise awareness by having different webinars and discussion on gender, but also intersectionality, because it's not only about gender. People have different identities, and we need to acknowledge them. We need to learn about them. We need to make other people aware of them, and also to support these people as they face multiple challenges. So we will try also to celebrate gender equality milestones, such the International Day of Women or Girls in Science. So we'll try to make some posts. We'll try to drive more participation also in PWIL themes that are also associated to gender equality. So our ultimate aim is to increase capacity building through, of course, gender inclusive training. And training is something that is going to take place in all the next sessions, webinars, and events that we are going to organize. So we will dedicate a small part of our meetings in promoting gender inclusive training. Another thing that we want to promote is mentoring, because there is a need for support of ECRs, of people that are in their early stages in their career, from more experienced people who have also faced similar challenges. So our first wave of training, we are going to utilize COST resources. Okay, so we will include the gear tool that COST has, but also gender mainstreaming training and the EIGE toolkit to design inclusive and more impactful activities. We will also try to have a gender equality advisor. I'm already talking with someone who is very experienced in gender equality issues, so that he can provide further advice on what we are doing. We do want also like an external person who is going to support myself and my assistant who are working on gender equality in terms of the action. And we also want to gradually create a gender working group. So not only 1 or 2 people, but more people working towards gender equality within the action. Okay, to make sure that we have members that represent different identities, different people, different perspectives. Okay. So what we are trying to do, increase participation in the action, but also visibility of different people. Okay, and how we can support them in every way that we can. What we are trying to do is to shift attitudes, to shift cultures, to shift assumptions across our network. So challenges, of course, nothing is easy, and we cannot pretend that everything is smooth, running, no problems, okay? So we do have challenges, okay? So we do have face limited gender diversity among young researchers, okay? We do have that, and what we are trying to do is to basically design a long-term structural intervention to address that. Also, as I told you, the lack of self-reported data on non-binary or gender diverse identities is something that we find challenging. And we want to see what we can do with different cultural and also institutional factors that prohibit these people from talking, from revealing their identity. We want to create safe spaces for these people so that they can come out, talk about what it is to be in the different identities that they are and how we can support them. Third, another thing that we have is in terms of early career researchers or practitioners or academics that we have in the network, we can see that especially women or people from other genders rather than the male gender, they don't really want to take on leadership roles, okay? They're afraid to do that. They need more support. So what we want to do is to establish, to make sure that we establish training, appropriate training and mentoring throughout this process so that they can be encouraged to take on these leadership positions. Finally, what we want to do is to make sure we have gender-sensitive content in the different scientific outputs that we have, especially by encouraging interdisciplinary projects where gender is not always seen as a relevant lens, and this is the case with some of the projects that I can see around right now. So moving on with more issues, so we want to, one thing that we have, some of the things that we have come up as we are trying to face these challenges that we have is to launch anonymous feedback channels to make sure that we listen to people's voices. We want to know about potential mistakes that we are going to make so that we can rectify them. Unless you have an open conversation with other people, this cannot happen. Also, we want to make sure we design mentorship programs for underrepresented groups. And thirdly, we want to embed gender-sensitive analysis into both training people. So how can we be gender-sensitive in training people? How can we be gender-sensitive in whatever we are publishing? Okay, and in how we evaluate people. Okay, and their work across the network. So basically what we are trying to do is to empower. Okay, the key word here is empowerment. Empowerment and also transformation. Transformation of our institutions, but also of the different platforms and people that we are working with. So what Big Wheel is trying to do is to recognize that gender equity must go beyond binary categories. Okay, we want to encourage gender fluidity, to make sure that we acknowledge gender diverse identities. So we want to stop self-identification only as male or female and to have more open-ended categories. Okay. And I think that what is going to help in that way is transparent communication, okay? Transparent communication and ensuring that there's confidentiality on gender data collection. So definitely our aim is inclusion. And how do we do that? Because we do that through developing, as I said, mentorship, discussion spaces where people can discuss and open up, and contact points, so people can contact in case they want some support or help. Also, leadership development is also very important, especially for people who are not that confident to take on leadership roles or to move on with their careers. And what we are trying to increase is confidence. We can do that also through shadowing. So having people support from more senior people through shadowing or peer support system. We also committed to intersectional analysis. So we want to make sure we have a more rounded vision of who the different people that are in our network, of the different identities that they carry. So what we want to do is to make sure that everyone can fully participate, no matter what his background is, no matter what his tastes are, or what the context he's living in is. So looking ahead, what we want to do is, first of all, as I told you, we recently created our gender equality plan, which of course is under discussion and under evolvement. This is published on our website. What we will try to do is to have annual reports on gender equality in the report that we have as an action, and also to make sure that we receive feedback, okay, and peer review, so that we can improve the gender equality plan that we currently have. So we also have set ourselves measurable goals. For example, we don't want more than 60% of any gender in any decision-making structure. We want to maintain that, because maybe we'll have some people resigning from the course. We want to make sure we maintain that. We want also 100% of our outputs to be gender sensitive. Another thing we want is at least 30% participation of underrepresented groups in mentorship programs. Mentorship programs cannot be established unless there are people coming from these underrepresented groups that also are involved in the training, not as trainees only, but also as trainers. And another thing that we want to make sure is that we see gender equality as inseparable from broader EDI commitments that we have. So we are trying to expand our scope. We are trying to integrate equity, diversity, and inclusion into everything we do: planning, reporting, and also training processes. And we are trying to build a cost action that not only promotes inclusion in platform work research, but also models it in practice. And this is why we are here. And we'll be happy to support you in every way that we can in the development of your own gender equality plan. So thank you for your attention. And happy to have any questions.
I have one.
Yes.
Not really a question, but a remark.
Yes.
You said you wanted to create a channel for people to talk, but anonymously.
Yes.
I think that's
both anonymously and also if they want
we can
to
choose.
Yes.
Because
yes.
the problem I see is, why does it have to be anonymous to be listened to?
It's going to be both. Some people are too afraid
Yes.
to come up. We want to give opportunities to all people.
Yes.
They are shy, or again they want to hide their identity, but they need support.
Yes.
So we want to provide this opportunity. And there are other people who want face-to-face contact and continuous support. We will provide that opportunity too. We want to cover everyone,
Everyone
no matter what his or her needs are.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Because I think if to be listened to, you have to be anonymous, that's a problem.
No, but sometimes, you know what, unless you are anonymous, you're not willing to talk.
Yes.
So we want to
That
listen
I
to voices.
understand.
So if I'm asking for feedback now from you, maybe you don't want to
Yes.
give me feedback because it's negative. But if I provide you both the opportunity
Yes.
to talk to me and also an anonymous survey where you cannot be identified and you can tell me whatever you want, then I mean I'm covering everyone.
Okay.
I make sure I get every feedback I can, rather than telling you, okay, what do you think? What are you going to tell me? I don't like you? You're not going to tell me. Maybe I'm doing this openly so that I don't have any negative feedback. But if I give you every option, I can get that
Yes.
negative feedback. And then I can improve.
That
And
I
then I'm
understand.
not pretending I'm asking for feedback.
Mhm.
Yes, please.
Yeah, maybe I want to ask for when is writing gender sensibility, how we can describe gender sensibility? What kind of actions we gonna see that have gender sensibility? Because, for example, gender sensibility can have the plan of the University of Girona, where I'm coming from, have gender sensibility because it's writing that if I have one problem, they have the sensibility to hear me. But when gender is really transformative, is when it's transversal and is making policy, so it's more deep than sensibility. So when I show in the plan that the publications and the training won't have gender sensibility, I don't know if maybe you can say in some examples exactly what we are thinking with sensibility.
Okay, I talked about gender sensitivity. That means, for example, we don't want to exclude people. When, for example, we create a publication, we make sure we include all genders, okay? We make sure we are respectful to every gender, okay? And we make sure we are true. Okay, we don't pretend, for example, that we know things without knowing them. We don't pretend that we have the full data if we have the data from only male and female. How about the others? How about the others? That's why I'm trying to tell you that we want to make sure. So we don't have an output if it's not gender sensitive, that is respectful to all genders, inclusive of all genders. We want to make sure that we do that. But again, you know, theory is theory and practice is practice, okay? And I know that because the universities are full of gender-sensitive theories, gender-sensitive policies, and in practice, nothing happens.
And we
Okay.
saw that it's something aesthetic, but in the end, it's not ethic. No, it's that sometimes I have the impression that when we see all the time like this sensibility from the gender, but not really one practice, for me doesn't mean nothing. So maybe the question is like what the aim is to have co-equality in the aims of Big Will is that ensure that it will be all the visions, all the perspectives,
Exactly.
social perspectives together.
We cannot change the world, not tomorrow, okay? But what we can
Let's
do
try.
is, yes, but what we can do is to try, to shout out, to make sure we voice out whatever different men have to tell us, okay? To make sure we are respectful, first in theory and in practice as well. But again, this is a difficult world and it takes time, but it takes also people coming out, telling what they think, telling them about what is happening. For example, last week I was in Nantes, where I presented about sexual-based violence against women, okay? On the tram, there was one young lady who told me about her experience, okay? And then, you see, she asked for support. So I really gave her some good pieces of advice, I think. The thing is, and And one of the participants asked me, do you have any universities that have good practices in terms of, policies against sexual-based violence? I said, no.
No.
Sorry, no. I can tell you a lot of universities that have, policies in theory, but practical, implementation of the policies, no. So we are working towards this direction. People wants to work towards this direction to support people, to voice whatever concerns they have or problems they have, to support them in every way that we can, but it's a long way. It's a long way.
But more important is to create protocols, more than individual actions. It's like the work to do, collective, for me, is my opinion, is to create like some kind of networks activated.
Sometimes, theories and policies do not work. Mm-hmm. They bring the contrary effect, the adverse effect. Sometimes what works, as you said, is peer support groups. And people working in small groups where they, first of all, they get the psychological support to speak out and to resist to all these false practices. And then people coming together and also making meaningful changes to the world. As I told you, there is training about everything. Do they involve people they want to train? No. Okay, so they create training for other people without getting any feedback from them. This is also wrong. Okay.
I think to make a real change, we have to educate our children, because we adults, it's a little too late to change the mentalities of the women, of the men, of everybody. We have to teach our kid to, if her or if they, male or women, every gender is the same. Because if they grew thinking that, when they become adult, it will be easier to make a real change in the world, because we are always talking about adults, how to re-educate, relearn, but we have to learn from the basis, from the beginning, I think.
Yes, but it's easy to say, okay, I cannot do that, it's too late.
No, it's not what
children,
I'm saying we have to do both.
Of course,
educate
of course,
the grown and
of course.
educate the young.
And whatever we do, we need 365 feedback. So don't just do things. Are they working? Adapt them as well, because things are changing.
I do agree, but I have a but. How we can teach something we are in late to learn? If we are in late to learn, how we can go to teach them? We are trying to understand. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that education is the only way to change the world, and every way you want to change. Because if they started in a different way, then they grow up in a different way. But I don't feel like to go to teach them. I don't know how to say it, but
I think it's by telling them
we grew up in a capitalistic and racist and lots of isms way and word, and I think that we are trying to re-educate ourselves, because we have sometimes still point of view of capitalism and racism, and I don't know if I can go to teach them something.
I think it's we have to keep an open communication and tell them we are not perfect. For now, this is our world. Our world is crap, but you can do better. We can do better together, and we see the world like that for now. But we want to change, and by telling you what we are doing wrong,
exactly,
right.
Telling them at least we can teach them our mistakes.
Repeat our mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Teach them our mistakes and up to which point we have reached and how we reflect on things and what are our aspirations, but then we give the things over to them to move on. Yeah.
But actually the new generation, I mean the people that now are 30 or 20, 30, they are already more than us on this topic of gender. I've been traveling, and you arrive in some places. I've been in Canada. Everyone in a science in a science place job, so organization, it was nothing about gender. Everyone had a pin with the pronoun. Everyone, even everyone in there. So they are really more used than us.
In the UK as well, you have it everywhere. Yeah.
Pronoun.
Pronouns, he, him, yeah.
They want to be used with
Can we, yeah, please.
Yes. And for me, it's not that we have to teach them because it's social. Gender is social, so they copy us. Sorry, they copy us, and it's been shown in some research that the kids before the 4, they have no.
Yes.
So maybe just we have that something like that in France when we have school with no gender area. So it's like it's quick with the gender stereotype in the school and let them be. For me, it's not us to learn them something. We just let them be how, because they're gonna do it better than us. And when we grow, when we are growing up, sorry, when we are growing up, we are learned the way to behave with the environment in school. So, and for me, it's not always the grown that teach the young. And for me, this question is the young who teach the grown to not be stereotyped by not only gender, but racial and everything else, because it's in school that begins, because we classify everything. So, even if we're not, we don't know everything, never. But it's not because we don't know the gender equality way. If we let the young do, they're gonna show us, and like you say, in Canada, it's amazing because you have already everything structural around the name, the pronoun, and everything. But it's not close for me. It's like the young gonna do it. But not tell them you're gonna do it, because it's like the climate change for us and our generation. The parents told us, you're gonna save the world, and we have a lot of depression next to it because we have a passion to do it. So like just let them be. And for me, it's gonna be, maybe I'm positive, maybe.
Yes.
But for me, it's
Yes, and we have someone, yeah.
I think that it's very interesting, the education about children and these parts, but I think that in our cooperatives we have a lot of realities. If we want intersectional vision, in our cooperatives also there is people from different cultures, insights, in education.
Exactly.
So I think for us it's important to think about the people who is adult and come from different sides, different educations, and how we can approach this in our sector, in our cooperatives, and what are our challenges about this. No? Then in our cities or countries, we have a fight with other governments for talk about education and this part. No? But then a lot of times in our cooperatives there is another or different realities, no? And our sector, it's a concrete reality that I think it's interesting too.
I agree that what we have to do, in my opinion, is to fight, keep on fighting. Okay, at least to show our children that we are trying to do something. Okay, we're not, left everything to them. Okay, so we are fighting, we are making steps, and then they are going to continue. And that's it. And the thing is,
we're not dying.
we are acknowledging also, and we are acknowledging our mistakes, what we've learned from our mistakes, and then we are designing a path. And then they will do their own part. When, for example, when we know...
It's not anything about what we leave to them. It's about how we want to live the years we have to live.
Yes,
and work,
exactly.
and move, and travel, and cooperate, and what we want to live in our lives too.
Exactly. It's not over. Sorry. I have many years to live and I'm trying to do my best.
Yeah.
But, okay, we are not living in a perfect world. It's
In my
never going to be
opinion,
perfect. But
I'm wondering since maybe half an hour if I have to say this because I'm not sure, but I think that there is another specific group that is not represented, that is gender, non-phase man people, that is racialized too. I mean, where two things
there are so many,
going together.
so many different
It's not the
kind of
same to
people
be-
that are not
Yeah.
represented and
Yeah.
supported. That's why we talked about gender fluidity. Okay, let's not say it's this, it's that. There are more, and some of these things maybe you don't know
Yeah,
because
but when you
They are silenced.
have to face more than one problem at the same time, then it's gonna be more complicated.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
No, go on.
I'm not sure if it's possible. We are already at this point to be able to to approach in a different ways the needs of every group.
Yes, my point
I
of
think
view
I'm going to step down.
is that it's really important. For me, it's really important as researcher. It's really important to mobilize an intersectional perspective in order to understand how different class or different type of domination can contribute to marginalize. And what proves that it's really touchy point is that in fact in academia it's really easy to speak about feminist approach, gender approach, but when you talk about intersectional approach, everybody is afraid, in fact, because it's really the point, you know, how different type of discrimination can be combined to exclude. So we have to work on intersectional approach just because when you try to work on that, every people say, no, it's too complicated, so it's really, so it's the reason why it's really important. But of course, it's the aim of PWI, but it's easier to start with the gender perspective. It's easier, but it's a way to open the door. But when you are in the room, we have to say, no, guys, there is not only one problem. It's a really problem start when because all of us, in fact, when you start, all of us mobilize different type of identity that in the history cause domination or the exploitation. So we have to remember that and try to work on that.
So yeah, well, one quick question: do we feel comfortable like this? Do we want to make like a circle maybe or something? I don't know how you
Circles.
Yeah,
So
so
maybe
maybe we can
we can,
be more included on the.
How much time
if
we
you
have
agree,
left?
we can
Because it's almost
move
left.
We have like
to the
about
second part
1 hour
of
left,
our
so-
section.
We have about 1 hour left. Maybe we can change the circle.
Şurada yatabilirsin. Şuraya gidip yatmak ister misin? Orada yerler var.
So another quick question. Aniko from Golia Futa Cooperative. She's going to make pictures. Does okay with that, or want to show up in the pictures? Okay.
Is anybody missing? Maybe we can make the circle smaller. I can see.
Change the slides.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, use your section. Can you change move to the other presentation? The previous one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can change your slides.
No. Sí, pero luego está lo de United Messengers, United Brand, algo así.
Okay, who's going to...
No,
Okay, you just have to press this button.
You run by
No. Es una asociación de los mensajeros de Milán. Que no es una empresa. Tú conoces a Hilaria, a Luis, no es eso.
Ah, sí, pero son todos autónomos, ¿eh? Es una...
No, pero luego tienen una...
que
Que tienen mogollón de camisetas. Luego, a ver si me acuerdo de lo escribo y luego, a ver qué me digan dónde. Porque es un tiendario.
Do you want to break? Maybe. No? Yeah?
You're good?
Okay, great.
So, hello everyone. This is going to be the discussion session, and the first two sessions were all lectures. But I'm very happy that we started the sort of the conversation going. I'm Funda. I'm one of the working group leaders with Corinne. And in this session, it's basically setting up the groundwork for the repository that we want to work on. And it's, we would like to hear from you. We would like to, there was a question earlier as to sort of, who's this repository going to be for? What are we going to do with the data? And the question, like a quick answer to those is that we want this to be for the use of everyone. We want it to work for everyone. It's not going to be sort of like a resource that we're setting up for the academics that we're going to use and we don't get anything in return. We don't want that. And in terms of how the session will go, I prepared a few questions. You might have seen the agenda, but I sort of laid them out in more detail here. And we're going to go around. We would like to get to know you. I know some of you from earlier meetings, part of PIO, but I also don't know many of you. So again, I'm Funda. I go with she, her. That's my son, Leon. It's an experiment. It's the first time I'm taking him to a work context, so bear with me. I might be slightly distracted. I'm trying to make it work. And I'm based.
A previous question.
Yes.
But for understand, so it will be one study about the session of today, or what it will gonna be. The questions are prepared for you, but with later what you wanna go with that.
Sure, that's a good question. So today is only setting the background. We are going to sort of synthesize what's happening today. And the plan is, PIO is going to have a conference in Warsaw in September, and then in that conference we're going to start working on the repository. So today we're just setting the sort of the skeleton, the scaffolding of the repository. So we want to hear from you in terms of what you think the categories in the repository should be. What would be interesting for you, for your organizations, for your own research to have in that repository? What you would, how would you use that? And how could it be useful for you, so that when it's sort of, when People is over, we still have this data that we can all go back and sort of refer back to, even if it may be a living document. That's also a discussion that we can all have, whether we can collectively decide to make it into a living document. But we could also decide not to make it into a living document and sort of leave it as sort of capturing this space and this point in time about our discussions, and that's also valuable. So today everything is open, and the plan is try to brainstorm as much as possible as to what our intentions are, what our wishes are, and not necessarily settle on anything. Although we might as well, we might also see that across the board we have a consensus on something, and that category has to be there. We can make those kind of decisions as well. But today is not going to be sort of us doing the work on the repository or starting a document. We're going to do that. We're going to make that set up for the September meeting, and you're all welcome to join as well. And beyond the September meeting too, the repository will be open for sort of feedback from you, sort of to make it as rich, as useful as possible. But yeah, today is only for having this discussion, having this space to really be able to capture different opinions, different visions of what the repository should look like.
You understand.
If at any point I'm speaking too fast, do let me know. I tend to speed up as I go. So that is. So that is also up for decision. So we haven't settled. It's in the people group. It is called a repository, but we really haven't settled on any specific document type or like a database or a website. We haven't settled on that. So that is also up for discussion.
So let's dream.
Exactly. Let's dream. It is basically like that. It can be an open Excel document. It can be a Google document. It can be anything that we want it to be.
Yeah.
As long as it's something useful that has the information that we would seek to have it in one collective place. Right. So my name, Funda, my pronouns she, her, and one word what you would like to get out of today. Clarity. All right, shall we go around?
Yeah. My name is Alexia, my pronoun she, her, and one word for today. Yes.
What's the which one?
Utility, that's something useful. You're Alexia too.
Yeah. My name is Manon. I'm she, her, and I will copy. I would say useful.
Okay, so my name is Diane, pronoun she, her, and the word of today is gonna be shit.
Gonna be, sorry?
Shit.
Shit.
What you would like to get out of today is shit.
Caca.
Okay. What you would like to
But
get
it's
out
shit
of today?
because it's really hard for me to just say one word. I grew up thinking the world was a better place, like for racism and gender. And when I was an adult, like as a teenager, I was like free, okay, everything fine. I don't see everything, and now as a grown woman, I'm just realizing that I don't know if we had a step back or if I just lived in a utopia, but just shit. We are not quite ready to be the world I want to live in.
Okay, but that's not what you would like to get out.
To get out.
Of
Okay.
today.
I would say dream.
I'm Tamena, pronoun she or her, and I think that my word is shift.
My name is Louise. I don't care about my pronouns, write what you want. And for my word, I'm gonna say in French it's not one word because I don't know this word, but I know it exists. It's when you, is it French Canadian?
Yes.
It's like when we are, on se comprend pas.
We understand each other.
Like we are all living the same day with the same problem, and but in our business we don't have a lot of people like us. Like empathy, yes, thank you. Like ears and everything. We exist. It's not like, really, you live like that?
Okay, my name is Corinne. I'm used to the pronoun she, her, and why not? And what I would like today is learn. Learn.
My name is Vala. My pronoun is different. And the word I would like to get out, como possibilities, opportunities.
Change opportunity.
Change.
Okay, my name is Maria. Pronouns is she. Y la palabra pues sería profundizar para tener claridad.
To go deeper,
Go
to
deep.
have some clarity.
Bit of knowledge to, yeah.
Profundizar is to take some topic and to go deep inside. And there is,
To get some clarity.
there is a word in English,
Yeah, I don't
like
know.
the people that goes
Diving.
diving.
Deep dive.
Diving, como los que sumergirse.
I am Raquel, I am a person, and I want to generate solidarity in knowledge. Knowledge, sorry for my pronunciation.
I am Nuri, my pronouns are she, and the word is objectives, I think.
Creo que es un falso amigo. Objetivos,
Targets,
target.
sí.
Como alcanzar
¿Hacia
objetivos.
dónde vamos?
Target.
I am Maria, my pronouns are she, her, my word would be sharing. Sharing. Compartir.
Hi everyone, I'm Laura, female pronouns, and my word is deep listening. Deep listening. Escuchar.
Okay, so I'm Auri, and my pronouns are she, her, and my word will be connection.
I'm Marina, my pronoun is she, her, and my word is learn.
Learn.
I am Aniko, my pronouns are she, her, and my word is networks.
Hi, my name is Eleni. My pronouns are she, her, and my word is awareness. I'm aware of different perspectives.
My name is Corinne, and my pronouns she, her, and my word is like you, utility, because as researcher, academic researcher, I choose to produce political research, and sometimes I spend a lot of time to write paper. Nobody will never read, you know. And now we are in this project. We have to do a repository, but what I want is that it will be useful for us researchers. We think that produce knowledge about some topics that are invisible. It's enough, but I don't think it's enough only to produce knowledge. What we know to do is to produce knowledge on what is in the invisibility for domination, asymmetrical report of power. So, but we need your opinion to produce a repository. We don't mean what? Repository, but to produce something that can help show how the thing could be different in the delivery sector. What are the specific challenges women face? Yeah.
Oh. Okay, it's slightly moved up and I don't know how to move it down, but the question is, what gendered experiences, challenges or stories have you encountered in delivery work? So,
1 hour!
1 week! 1 week!
No, just one each, otherwise we're going to be here.
One
Choose one and then the other.
yes, they can
cannot
build
choose
on
the
it,
same.
and if you have more, we can have the discussion going in a document or something.
Yeah.
And if you're not in delivery work, but if you're studying that, you can also share something that you have heard from the people perhaps you interviewed, or that you have read about.
Maybe we can, when someone shares something and we live the same thing, we
Yeah.
can say, like, no word, but yeah, it's
You
really, I
agree?
live this.
Okay.
So maybe we have a number of, if everybody live this, it's like really general. If someone just share it and live it once, it's not that first thing to act on. It can help us after to choose the thing that we have to act on.
Sounds good.
It's okay for.
I do understand the last part. Sorry.
It's because if we have a lot of topics, different topics, like some topics are going to be really shared, some really not, and then it's going to help us for the gender writing thing tomorrow. So, but like this thing is really lived by everybody, so it's the thing to act on because it's really everywhere. And if it's something like 1 or 2% live, it's we have to act on it, but we have a priority to help a lot of people first.
But these stories are based on problematics or not? Problematics or...
It doesn't have
Yes,
to
definitely,
be.
but
It
they are
doesn't have-
problematic.
Yeah, but there, I mean, experiences, positive, negative, could be any. Challenges are challenges.
Because the idea is to generate categories of study.
This is only to understand. We're not doing the categories yet. This is to understand what are the shared experiences, what are the shared challenges. That's all.
Well, to make it clear, the researchers are you three, you, Corinne, and Elena, are the 3 researchers here? Or
Yes, and also a researcher.
And you also?
Okay.
No, sorry. Okay.
Okay, shall we start from YouTube?
I'm going to tell the same story I told in Grenoble.
You weren't there, so it's new to us.
Yeah. That's someone was there, yes.
No.
So the first assembly we had about gender perspective in Grenoble, we were talking each other like more or less like that, but it was mixed the group, and a lot of people. The most of them was cis men. They were like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We don't have any of this things in our cooperative, so we don't know. And to make them understand, I told them this story. The story was I started to work in Madrid, in a cooperative affiliated to CoopCycle, and I was the only girl, as a lot of time happens. And so we were 5 people. I was 5 people. I was the only woman in the team. The last arrived, and it was just after lockdown. It's actually in the middle of 2020. And I received the best welcome behavior from my from people that were working there. They were really kind. I was like struggling in the street. She knows I was like trying to reach the end of the shift. It was very complicated at the beginning, and they were amazing. All of them actually. After a while, after maybe 1 year, I started to have a problem with the person inside the team. This person started to, because we had a lot of reunion and assembly, like 2 a week, because we had a lot of problems, economic problems, organization problems, so and we were never, we never agreed, me and this person. We were like all the time, no, I think that it's better like that, no, I think it's better like that, all the time like this. But in the shift, in the middle of the shift, he started to make me invisible. What does it mean? We had a weekly schedule. Okay, so every Monday I have to do that. Every Tuesday you have to do that. Every Thursday and every Friday. And he started to just cancel me. Okay, so I have to go to do this and this and this. No, I always do that. This is my shift. This is my tarea? Task. Why from today you are gonna do that without telling me anything? So it was just, oh, I have to do it. I have to do everything. And it's like, no, we're a team. You are taking tasks from other people, just me actually. And after that, then we started to have a shift together, just me and him. It was Saturday in the morning. And we were using a Zello. I don't know if you know what it is. It's an application on the phone that is like walkie-talkie. It's the same but on the phone. So you push and you talk with the people that are connected in the same moment, and you can choose. You have to create a channel with these 4 people, maybe 5 people, and then the people that is in the same shift turn it on, and the other people can turn it off. So you can talk with your mate. Yeah, mate. He started to be very aggressive in the shift. In the shift we were just me and him, so nobody else was listening. Very aggressive, like insulting, like no, you do nothing. No, this is not like that. You have to go. Trying to. Telling me what I want, what I have to do. So the beginning was like, okay, let's calm down. After a while, I brought that to the assembly, and it was like, I cannot work anymore like that. We have to do something about it. And actually, it was good because people starting to think without me to say anything that was something about gender or ancienity. He was in the cooperative. He get in like 2 months before me. Seniority.
Okay.
Or 3 months before me, or something like that. So it was something, from up to.
Supposedly he was
a little
evolved,
bit.
really.
A little bit, but And we started to talk in an assembly. He said all the time that it was not about gender, completely not about gender, and completely not about seniority and nothing. He said he didn't see nothing. I don't have a strange behavior with you. Okay. And that's it, more or less, because then the cooperative started to split in different ways, and we didn't have any solution actually. The only solution was not to have a shift together anymore, just me and him. So someone started to be present in our shift on Zello, to listen to the conversation. At the beginning, without to tell us he was listening, and that's why they realized without me to say anything that something was going on because they were listening. And after we knew that someone was listening. So yeah, I felt like really understood from my mates. He never understood anything. It was like, this is not like that. And that's it. And I just quit after a while.
You quit?
Yeah. No, he's still there. because this was in parallel of a different problem about cooperatives in psychologistic field. That is that the most of us wanted to lead the cooperative in a cooperativistic way, and some people they wanted to make it a little bit more economically important, and so capitalistic way. He was leading this part, I was leading the other part. But the problem is that this part, the cooperativistic part, was already splitting. So many people was already going away and burnout and tiredness. The other part, so he found 2 more people that they think like him, they need to make more money. This is not sustainable like that. We have to run, we have to work on Sunday, we have to work on night and all the time. And at the end they came out with we get out, all of us, we quit, and they took the cooperative and make another, I don't know if it's a cooperative.
No, it's not.
It's not?
I think it's not.
And they convert this in a company with all our clients. Just change the name, change the law organization part, statute, yeah, and they are still there. They're just men, of course, and they're happy, making money. I don't know how it's going actually, but yeah.
No.
No.
If I could just react, it's interesting to see the link between maldomination and profit-oriented and
not really, because the people, my mates, I am really grateful to because they were the best mates in the world. They are men, 2 men, Martino and Tony, and the vision was completely different.
Okay.
But we didn't have enough energy to contrast this part.
Yeah.
Because one of them was already burnout when all this happened. So, and the other wanted to go to live to Berlin. So at the end I was like alone. I felt really like abandoned in that moment because I was like, no, come on, I quit. It's everything yours. I didn't have energy,
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm supposed to talk tomorrow, and this is a bit what I'm going to say tomorrow. Okay, now, so let's say it now. But something that she was saying remind me to the fact that, I mean, men control the world somehow. So they don't have some necessities that we, as non-male people, not only couriers, we do have. So you may bring up in your organization, in your cooperative, you may bring up topics as, I don't know, mental care, body care, reproductive work, not only to deliver packages, but also who cleans the office, how you treat your partners, how you treat clients. And these are things that, I have been lucky in my experience, but all my partners have been able to understand them and to integrate them. But it's true that it has been me putting them on the table. Like, it wouldn't come from them. Like, they wouldn't even think about it. So I would say that one of the challenges is to bring into a very male-dominated industry a different point of view that comes from our own experience, which is to see all the things. I mean, as women or non-male people, we are used to take care. We are used to take care and responsibility for things. and men are not used to take care, either responsibility for anything. So when you sit them on a table and you say, hey, you need to take responsibility for what you do, for what, the way you work, for how you talk to people on the phone, how you treat clients, it's a whole new thing for them. I mean, they are just strong and fast on a bicycle, and that's everything they need to be, right? And that is one, well, tomorrow I will repeat the same, I'm sorry. And the other thing is that one of the biggest challenges I have found in my experience is people is not trusting you. I mean, we are not fulfilling the common image of what a courier should be. So, one of the first times I was working over a decade ago, I went into this client and I have to carry Chanel coat. And the lady who was there told me like, are you sure you can carry this? And he was like, what the fuck, it's a coat for a lady. I mean, a lady wears it on. Why shouldn't be able to wear it on a fucking bag, you know? But she couldn't trust it. Because it's this image, I mean, I'm not blaming that lady.
Yeah.
But we are all grown up in a patriarchal society. I'm also patriarchal, I'm also racist. I mean, we are also part of this. But it's basically, I would say it's one of the biggest challenges you find. Confidence and trust from your partners and from the clients. Like, we are weird. We are not normal or what you are expecting when they tell you they are sending you a courier, right? It's not the image of what you are expecting. And that, you feel it. I mean, not after the years you stop feeling it, but it's something it's a barrier you have to cross, and definitely men don't have to cross. I mean, they fulfill the image. They fulfill the stereotype of what they are supposed to be. So everything is ready for them.
Can I go on the topic?
Yeah, sure.
Because it's what I wanted to say. Because it's a lot of experiences in the way we are women, and we present like women. So a lot of time we have to carry really easy, heavy stuff, like in the 4th or 5th floor. And for me, I work on the bike 1 day per week for 10 hours. And every time when I do this, yes, because I want this. I ask for, because I have other work I like to do. We can do. And every time, like every 2 weeks, so it's really often because I work just 1 day. But every 2 weeks, I have a man that asks me if it's not too heavy and if he can lift it for me. So of course I say yes, like that I don't work. But when I speak with other colleagues, they never have this shit. We're jealous, but I say, hey, dear woman, you see. But it's like all the time, and it's not just the box. When I use the Blitz, it's a big bicycle, and we have some huge stuff behind. We can drive with 200 or 300 kilograms. And a lot of people are like, every time, like it's every day. And I don't work that much on the bike, but every day I have some men or women even, really, you drive that? Yeah, it's electric. I don't even push in my legs. It's so easy. Like, okay, it's large. We have to, but it's like a car. You have to try to learn, but it's okay. There's a lot of little girls told me, I can't do that. And I never applied for the job because I was afraid. But one day I saw you. So I applied because I saw a girl can do it, and I was like, one friend that worked with me after that in Angers before my work with you. But again, it's not that hard, and always again with the thing that we have to step this bar because we are women. I live the difference when I start dress myself like a courier, like a specialist one, like a sporty one. I wear everything, the glasses, the shoes with the clip-on. I ask everything, the jersey, the tip with the butt.
Yeah,
so
cycling pants.
Yeah, cycling pants. It's amazing. And since I wear that shit, I have nothing. Like nobody try to the air stuff still, but on the road nobody asks me everything. But if I dress like my colleague, they make fun of me and not in a bad way. They are really, really cool. Like in my company, when you bring stuff, they are okay. Sorry, we didn't see it. What can we do? So not my colleague, but they dress like every day, and they don't have to dress like that to be to be considered as a career. But as a girl, we have to, because two other colleagues don't dress as career, and they have a doctor complain like this. But yeah, it's a lot about strength, about physical capability, and a lot of people don't trust us to keep up.
I have a similar experience, not with my colleague because I have an amazing team. I'm the only girl, but we have a lot of person who brings us merchandise, and one guy is, I think it's gender based and racist because he's from Turkish or country like that. He doesn't want me to help him. And often I'm alone at the office because the courier on the road, Serge, and my other colleague at the office are not always in the office. They often work from home, so I'm a lot alone. And the first time he told me, no, I don't want your help, I'm going to do it alone. And we have an organization for unload the truck because we yes, and so I was okay. You don't want my help, I won't help. I'm just going out and smoke my cigarette. And when I went out, it was like, no, I don't want your help. And I told him, I'm not going to help you. You don't want my help. I'm just going to take a break. And every time he comes, I know he doesn't want my help, even to bring him the pallet. And it's the only man I have the problem. But some other men, when it's on the phone or when they come to the office and I'm alone, they don't want to talk to me because I'm alone. It's like, Serge is not there, okay, I'll call back, I will come back. And that's a little bit harsh because it's my job. I'm the dispatcher, but it's a small team, so I have to do everything when I'm alone. And everybody is okay with that. I cannot lift heavy stuff because I have a back problems, but not because I'm a girl. It's because of physical problems issue. And I don't want to go into debate with the exterior people. And I just, okay, do your stuff.
Well, I want to tell you a story, but I need and I have a picture I drew for illustrate this. Maybe usar un proyecto, no sé.
¿Se puede poner?
O si no, os doy el móvil.
Maybe you can on your cell phone.
Sí, que pasas el teléfono.
Sí,
Can you pass it
Bueno, ¿me traducís? No, yo reparto, soy repartidora.
Sí, es a courier.
Va a ser fue una confrontación con un cliente que le estaba trayendo un paquete.
It was a confrontation with a client who was delivering a package.
Sí. Entonces era un paquete que se tenía que pagar.
There was a package, the client had to pay for the package.
El tío tenía muy mala leche y el paquete era para su mujer. No, supongo que era su mujer.
The guy was angry and the package was for his wife, she thinks.
Sí. Claro, yo le di el paquete.
I gave him the
Él
package.
se quedó el paquete en su casa.
He took the package.
Y le dije, ay, se tiene que pagar, yo qué sé, 50 euros, ¿no?
And then she realized he had to pay.
¿Cómo que se tiene que pagar? No sale aquí, ¿no? Entonces, le cogí el paquete.
Yeah, then she said, you have to pay me. And then the guy is like,
Fallo mío.
why do I have to pay you? And then she grabbed back to the package.
Aquí empezó, ¿no? Ala, que eres confiada, tía.
And then he said, you are not trusting me.
Y aquí empezó todo, era como, ¿y cuánto se negaba? Y me cago en mi mujer y no sé qué, pues ahora te esperas y te doy el dinero. Pues claro.
Okay, so then he was angry about his wife and he said, okay, now you wait and I'm bringing you the money.
Entonces se fue. Yo me esperé.
He was
Yo
away.
pensaba, calma, relax. Volvió con el dinero, no tenía suficiente dinero y mientras me daba moneda a moneda.
Okay, he came back with the money and he was giving her coin by coin.
Me iba diciendo, es que las mujeres, no sé qué, y es que a ver si tiene respeto, y eso no se hace, y el paquete es mío, me lo de, bueno, estaba como...
Yeah, he was talking like, because women, you are whatever, and you need to be more respectful, and blah, blah, blah.
Eso no es un curro para mujeres, ¿no?
Yeah, he was saying something like, this is not a job for women.
Y yo me encontré que estaba ahí, así, casi con la cabeza bajada, ¿no?
So she was standing there with his head down.
Estuvo mucho rato. Bueno, al final se discutía él conmigo, yo estaba del rollo, muérdete la lengua, no hagas nada porque estás como trabajando por la operadora grande, ¿no? Nacex.
So at the end he was like talking a lot of bullshit, but she was still quiet and like knowing that she was representing a bigger company than her, so she couldn't do anything.
Y callé. Pensaba, no sé, igual Nacex o te echan o no sé, a ver cómo reacciona Nacex ante esto, ¿no? Porque yo me fui de ahí llorando, pero llorando como de dolor, porque al final es como que me sucumbí, ¿no? A su mala hostia, ¿no? Me humilló, sí. Y nada, cuando acabé mi jornada me fui a cerrar a Nacex y llegué allí y le dije a la compañera de Nacex, le dije, me ha pasado esto, ¿qué vais a hacer?
Okay, so while he was talking a lot of bullshit to her, she was not doing anything, just waiting for it to finish because she was afraid that the company she was working for, which is a huge company, Nacex, I don't know if you know, she didn't know how Nacex will react if she says something to the guy. So she waited till the end, then when she left she was crying, she had tears on her eyes, and then she came back to the Nacex office and then she talked to the lady there like, hey, this has happened to me, what do you do?
Y Nacex dijo, vale, vamos a, como es, tienen como derecho de admisión, bueno, no repartían en esa dirección, no repartían más, sino el cliente tenía que ir a la oficina a buscar el paquete.
Okay, so the reaction of the big company was that this address was banned. They won't deliver anything else there. The client will have to go to Nacex main office and pick up the package himself.
Good reaction.
Good reaction. But then I asked her, and with me, ¿qué vais a hacer conmigo?
Exactly. And then she asked her, what are you going to do with me?
Y bueno, pues yo siento, o sea, no podían, no tienen nada que hacer, no tienen curas, ¿no?
Lack of training, lack of support.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have any support for this kind of situation.
Yes.
My therapy is draw and vaig fer aquest dibuix, no? Però ja està. Yo me quedo con el miedo, el odio.
Yes, but they should develop a policy for that. More things like that might happen. They should develop as a company a policy. It's a great company, okay, about it. To protect
que deberían desarrollar
employees.
una política de protección frente a eso, Nacex, teniendo en cuenta que es una empresa muy grande. But also, honestly, do this kind of policies work? Like,
pero tengo que ser yo, la cooperativa pequeña, que vaya a la grande. Oye, mira, si quieres un
When I say
protocolo para
policy, for
asegurar-
example, a person is unhealthy and have psychological support. Okay? And then something they need to do with client.
que sí, que dice que tienen que tener apoyo psicológico para casos como el tuyo y también algo que hacer con el cliente.
And would this help? Would you have been satisfied with these two
Claro.
measures? Psychological support and an action from the big company towards the clients. Would that be a relief for you?
Que si te hubieras sentido bien si la compañía sin ACEX te hubiera dado apoyo psicológico y si hubiera tenido una reacción más grande con el cliente. Si a ti te hubiera respondido.
Por mí sí, porque me quedo yo con las ganas de venganza que tengo de ir a su
Yeah,
casa.
because she was keeping the fear and the revenge on herself. And
It's trauma, it's traumatic, so she needs support.
Yeah,
She could have someone.
but my question is that, does this policy work? That's my question.
It depends on the people that is going to apply.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But maybe they don't even have this, sorry,
Sí, yo
the
puedo,
idea.
yo puedo trabajar eso y puedo soportarlo, ¿no? Pero, ¿qué hacemos con ese hombre? ¿Qué hacemos con Access? ¿Y qué hacemos con lo que me queda a mí dentro, ¿no?
But
No sé.
But I think that it's important the protocol about NASEX, but I think that our protocols also talk about our clients or the space to intercooperation. So the problem a lot of times is that these situations happen with our main clients. So it's very difficult in a precarity context how act in this situation. But for this reason, I think that maybe it's more important our protocol that protocol about NASEX, that it's important, but it's a big company with no, it's necessary, but maybe it's only a paper and a bureaucratic thing for him. But for us, this is not only a paper. It's a very important question, I think, in our cooperatives. And a lot of time, like how we are friends and we tratamos este tema. This topic like friends, but not like laboral context and professional context. And I think it's very important to have our friends next to us. But it's important also a protocol that ¿qué podemos hacer, no?
Echarle la rueda.
I don't know, but maybe.
Que la sabia, pero como la sabia, ¿no?
No, como yo, porque al final, bueno, sí.
Because I do the routes some days, and for example, some clients or some person from our clients have a bad attitude with no compañera, colleague. So maybe we finish this collaboration, or maybe it's better that other person go the next time. I don't know, but this part is the part we have to talk and we have to define. I think. No?
Yes, I think it's an important point. It's the tension between economic issue and ethical issue, and how the organization manage this tension.
May I say something?
Yeah, sure.
When you are in a small cooperative, the organization it's you. It's you too. So if you don't do anything, nothing is going to be done. You don't have then any tool to face the problem.
And one of the problems in the company, because in the past we had some problem in our company with harassment, because one girl and one boy had a relation and it broke, and there was harassment from the man on the girl, and back a really long time ago, like 5 years ago, and she talked to one person that was aware of the impact, political impact and everything, but nothing was done because a lot of persons didn't look at it. Like she was alone, so she quit, and she came back now, because now it's safe. so she can like now working with us. But she had no tool because when we are small, like you said, and you are all alone.
Yeah.
And even if you have one friend, because she had one friend, it was she had, but there were 8 people that was allies, but not in the way, because when you career, you were a courtier. Courtier are people who like to be alone. Like you are on the bike, you are alone, you read your shit, you know how to, you deliver there, you ride, you but you are alone. So a lot of people don't like to they like people,
So
but they're
is
not.
it true or it's just a stereotype? Is it true?
For me, it's true.
True what?
For me, it's true.
What are you asking if it's true?
It's a career like to be alone on the bicycle.
Yeah, I mean, we are alone.
It's a long time on the bicycle.
Yeah.
For me, like we have a middle company, and some people say I won't just ride because I like that. So it's a profile of person. Usually, it's easy to say general. It's not general, like everybody is different, but in general, they like to be alone. So when you try to speak of emotional stuff and everything, it's quick, too much. So they don't know how to act. And then just they don't know what to do to help.
You mean they are not into teamwork?
No, they are in teamwork. Okay. Teamwork. We spoke on the channel, and when we did help, like one time in Angers, I was harassed by 15 men. I was waiting for a bag in a restaurant, so it's my second chair. Someone told me to spoke, but I was waiting for my bag, and they grabbed my bag. And they asked me if they can ride it. So it was I was a student, I had no money. I put all my money in my bag to work. So I said no. And they insulted me. And they were not, now I'm looking, they were not aggressive, and they were trying to communicate. And they were 15 and I was alone. Like more than 10 guys and just me. So at the time it was grabbing my bag, I tried it. So I think by pushing. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, don't you see I'm scared? Like, you're 15, I'm waiting for my work, and now you insult me. I want to be, and I called my friend, they came, because we are team. But they never did that. Like, and it's really, it happened this year, it happened just once, but maybe when I was younger, I had my phone asked every 2 weeks. When I was waiting for a package inside the restaurant, I think everybody did that. Like, you are a friend in the city, and you have to wait in a place where you can't move, and you have your bicycle, and you can't act because you have your company name. So if you begin to make something, they took the video of me when I was beginning to yell, and I have the company logo on my back. So I was like, shit, what can I do? And so the team come. But when you begin to speak like that, you see, maybe it's just me, but I spoke with them, they told me it's a lot because we didn't quite have a little idea of what you can do in your work every day, and they feel hopeless because they ask me every time, what can I do to help? But they can't change the world, and they don't know how to help, and in the main perspective, the educated way, it's they're educated to be a problem solver. So when they are just in the way they can't act, they feel really bad. Yeah. So for me, in general, our work on the bicycle, it's really, people really like to be alone, but not thinking to others. It's just like, it's a lot of energy to give to others. But I followed the first main point. It was about when the company is a problem, you don't know what to do because you don't have process and the easier way, but not the easier. Sometimes you need it because you are so hurt that you have to leave. And it was the woman who did that had to do it because she couldn't do anything, even with allies in it, because they didn't know what to do. You have no process, no protocol, nothing to say to the person who was harassing her to stop. They saw the message, but the message was in private, so they couldn't listen. So it was one voice and one voice. Even if you say the victim is always right, some people say no, maybe she's lying. Why should be lying? So it was, the victim was believing it and have to prove herself that she was believing it. So it's really hard.
That's exactly why we're here this year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, just one thing, we have like 15 minutes left, but maybe we can take 10 minutes more, if not more
Yeah,
than
I was
half an
thinking
hour.
because I really don't want to stop this discussion, and like everyone is so open, and like this is a really nice space. And I have prepared, I think, far too many questions. So what I can do is, if it's okay with you, I can email you the questions.
Yes.
And that can also give you like space to elaborate a bit more. I promise the answers would be confidential for the time being. I'm not planning to use them. But we can sort of, develop some category ideas from that. And I'm very open for you to suggesting as well. That there are questions directly about the repository categories, and there are questions like this to share experiences.
But if I can add something,
Sure.
Maybe is it possible also if you want to have a quiet space, online space, because sometimes it's easier when you are together to speak, and we can also organize meeting. What you prefer, but I know you don't have many time, so it's the reason why you can propose to send an email, but we can also, if you want, you can also have a specific meeting with us in line with the repository. I don't know what you prefer.
In my opinion, we don't need a mail. I think we need these spaces. I think that maybe this is a workshop, but these days we have a lot of times with beer, with dinner, with no. For me, it's important the presentiality, and I think we can approach this moment, but the other moments for me. It's important that when we have a meeting, it's important the time of workshop, but it's very important the time out of workshop, no? With a beer, more informal, and I think we have a lot of time. Still we have a lot of time. If it's not sufficient, maybe the last day we can talk about if we need to spend these moments and in what format we need. I don't know, but maybe it's better and only part that we talk in this space about the stories outside our cooperatives, no? But I think that sometimes it's very difficult, the problems with our friends in our cooperatives, with people very feminist and with a language very inclusive, that is people that also have mistakes, no?
Yeah.
And I think this is important also because for me, in my experience, I have missed a protocol inside cooperative in some situations. And in these situations, I see the precarity and the consequences of precarity, and the difficult to abordar, approach a problem with maybe persons that are your friends for a long time, no? And how the other people that also are friends, and the majority are men, define this situation. And this is a problem, but because for example, we in the past we need external entity to define the situation, because a lot of people that cooperative don't define fine the situation. And for me, this is also a problem, because sometimes the person who have the mistakes is our friends, but also is person that have a lot of responsibilities in a context of precarity. And for the person that receive the mistake, the victim, is a very bad situation, no? And I think that sometimes it's more easy to approach the things outside our cooperatives than the things that happen inside our cooperative with a very confident person, and not with desconocidas, unknown persons.
So I wanted to share also like a very short story that is linked with Maria told. Like right now in the cooperative I'm based, or I'm more linked, like a situation happened like a year ago. So it was like a sexual assault or a sexual harassment. And to make it quicker, it was not to me, but it was to another female colleague. And the situation ended that she quit. I'm not going to go very deeper in this story because it's not mine. But the situation ended that she quit, and this guy is still there somehow. And what happened, because we are not so many non-cis male, we are just a few of them. The other female also quit at some point, and like for example in my situation, I'm getting disconnected to my current cooperative, and this is the reason why I'm maybe getting more in touch with CoopCycle and other entities, because like I didn't have also the energy to fight this once, because I was very comfortable in my cooperative, but since I was the only woman left, I had like zero energy to fight this. And yeah, and this is like one, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to solve the situation right now. I'm just sharing because like it's nothing that we can do right now for it. But it's like a very good example of how females get how do you say, like excluded or from spaces when this kind of things happen, because everything happened with some woman that was not me, like a concrete situation, but this and other women quit them, and me like getting more
a snowball effect.
Yeah. So yeah, and this is happening right now, and yeah, and some of you know this people involved, some of you don't. So
could you say that this is also almost being framed as a choice that she left, and it's a choice that you're excluding yourself?
I would say, in one hand, it's a choice, but it's like for me, it wasn't a choice, because I feel more like the choices of other women.
Well, the others in the co see it as a choice that, you know, you're only left and now you're...
Yeah, like probably men, is like we didn't have also the time for working this or speaking this in deep, also because I think every people has different levels of awareness about this kind of topic. But yeah, but obviously, like for real, like the person who was assaulted, people also, there's like a lot of history in, but they saw it like a kind of a choice, and the second one for sure, and for me, like yeah, I don't think there's like a common reflection about what is happening, and me as the current only woman, I'm not going to explain anything. I'm like so tired of this. So yeah.
And you have to have a lot of energy to go. Yeah, sometimes you have jokes.
Yeah.
And you have to have the energy to say, no, shut up, it's not a
Yeah,
joke.
exactly.
Say something like that. But if you have no energy, you say, I'm not agreeing, but come on.
Yeah, it's on you to stop it.
Yeah, it's on us.
It's your
We have to stop it.
Bueno, maybe it's better to have one protocol. What I saw is that there are different situations going to different cooperatives, no? In a situation like this also, no? Like, So, like a conclusion is maybe to see the important to have one protocol who reflect all these kind of things and is accepted for all the members of the cooperative, not like one imposition, but one rule, one rule to other one. Like for example, when you arrive and you put the bicycles in that place or that. Also, when one situation of authority is happening, have one protocol to be discussed in this moment, because the situations are more different, no? But something is really important that make one change with other organizations, with other enterprises, no? We saw that these situations of gender humiliation are in all around, no? But we want to act. We want to innovate and be empowered in our places and say, hey, we have one paper and we are saying that if this happens, we need to call maybe somebody outside, other entity or other people, I don't know. Or you know that I don't want to go, I don't want to leave. We need to resolve that. And not less that the gender dynamics exclude by themselves to the woman, that we saw that all the time is happening, no? We need to go because we are the victims of this situation. I don't know if victim is not maybe the best word, I don't know, or the person affected. And also we need to go out because we don't know how to resolve that, because we don't know how to describe this situation, because I agree that the men in the knowledge that they have, the men that they act like a macho, no? They don't recognize some things in this language or no. So
I would say, and I'm going to be very fast, but I think needs to be said, protocols are not everything. I mean, protocols without sensitivity, they are nothing. Actually, they are even worse than not having anything. Because if you force someone, because at the end of the day you are forcing, like in my cooperative, we are 2 girls, 2 boys, I mean, we're equal. We say this rule is set up, and if Pam or me, we have any problem, we get to the protocol. If Pete and Luis are not agree with the protocol, or if they don't feel the protocol, it's not that they are not agree. If they don't deeply understand it, when the moment comes, when I come to the office and I say, I need to go to this institution because I need help, or I need to sit right now and talk about this, their reaction most probably is going to be negative, it's going to be aggressive, and it's going to be violent. So we also have to be very careful with protocols and the way we create and we apply them. I'm just saying that I'm not against protocols. I'm against the idea of thinking that a protocol solves everything. No.
One second. 1 second. I was okay to say a lot of things. To answer first this, yes, that's why okay, we have to separate manifesto and protocol. Manifesto is what we want to reach, how we want to live in our spaces, in our jobs, in our lives, in our cities. This thing, the gender perspective. Protocol is what to do in an emergency situation, which are our tools to answer situations. So one is the red button on the app. Another one, just in order not to force anyone to do something they don't know what it is. It's a mandatory small course formation, okay? Mandatory for everyone in CoopCycle.
But let's be honest, do you think that if you put a guy on a room for 6 hours and tell them about gender, they're going to go out and understand?
No, it's not me that I'm not. Maybe material we can pass online that everyone has to read, and we make one session in our cooperative once to try to understand if everyone has understood what they read, and we talk a little bit about this once. That's it. Then there is something in my proposal, in the protocol, a more deep formation about gender perspective, but it's not mandatory, it's facultative. In that way, we are sure that when we have to solve something, we are talking about the same. You cannot say anymore, I don't know what it is. No. No, you know what it is because you are working in CoopCycle, and in CoopCycle we are facing this problem. And you have this problem in your cooperative. So you need to start to learn how to solve it. It's in your interest too, not just mine. Because it's our cooperative. Yeah. 1 second, I have to go backward. For answering her question, I think that it's important that we talk each other face to face, so doing that, because when I talk about my experience, you feel your experience, even if it's different, the feeling, the frustration, the anger, it's the same. It's the fear, and I have to quit, and someone spit me in the face. I felt like he was like so mad that I wanted to kill him. About the logo stuff, I can't take out my logo. I don't care about logo in that moment. If you spit in my face, I'm not a worker anymore. I'm a person. I'm a person. And my problem is that I react too heavy. That, then it's a mess because I don't know how to calm down and leave the spit in my face. It's complicated. But there is no logo anymore. I mean, I can lose my job, and this is up to everyone, of course. I can lose my job, but
when you are not in danger, but you are not comfortable, the logo is there. And when you speak with me, they don't care any moment. A lot of people shattered glasses on the car when they are driving too close to you. I can't push my feet on the car because I'm afraid for the logo and for my safety.
I know, because if my company is not supporting me, if something happened, and if my company is not understanding how dangerous is my job and how complicated it is, I don't want to work for you. Yeah, I totally understand that no everybody has can choose which job. I totally understand.
It's not that, sorry, it's about the fact that sometimes you have big, like you said, you have big clients, and these clients, if you lose them, the 10% who work with you lose their job too. Yeah. So it's not just you.
So it's a cooperative problem, it's not mine. Yeah. We have to decide what to do.
Yeah,
but we cannot let pass these things.
You think of the co-workers too who have the job with you. Yeah. And you
That's
spoke
what
with
we
them and
discussed.
after we do something.
Okay, 1 second, I go back. So it's important for that reason, and it's not the same by mail. So I think that I can propose maybe instead to start with emails to spend our lunch together. Maybe we can go outside and continue this because, and this is the last thing I have to do. For tomorrow, we need all these experiences that we are listening and that we are telling each other. We need to,
synthesize,
concentrate and try to answer. So, what do we want to write in the protocol, and which tools we can think about for the protocol? What we want to write in the manifesto, and which tools we want in the protocol, and how they are. Readable, not readable. How they are realizable, how we can realize them, because we want to put a red button on the platform, but I don't know if it's possible. We have to ask to the dev department if it's possible to put a red button on our platform.
Okay, so just a short clarification.
Yeah.
To make it clear. So yeah, I don't think we need to spend the lunchtime on this because this is the aim of the workshop of this afternoon. So like to have like to continue this work, like this group of talking topics that we are interested in. Yeah, it can be mixed or we can do it non-mixed. Is our choice. It depends on the topic.
For sure, it's not going to be the same if it's mixed.
So, okay, do we want to leave it like here? Is there someone that wants to say something that maybe didn't?
Lo de antes
Okay. Vale.
Yeah, just to react.
But she wanted to say something.
Oh, sorry.
Vale, ok, sorry. More rápido, fast.
More rápido.
Very fast. That I think, for example, in Mensagas we had a encuesta
Survey.
survey with some questions, and one question was, do you think that Mensagas is there is equality in Mensagas? And the 65% responds that no, and 45% responds that yes, and the 100% that respond that yes are men, no all. So I think that if we have a protocol, this question don't change. The men's maybe think the same, but for this reason I think that it's important protocol. But in protocol, for example, we can define or define some things. For example, that it's not important the intention, it's important the effect you provoke. No? So these things I think are very important, but also is a legal tool. So we need to think this part. And in CoopCycle, for example, one question is the governance and sustainability, and okay, but if CoopCycle define, for example, these things, it's important also define the protocol, but maybe some men don't understand nothing, but we have a paper with some things, and this is a thing that we can justify our actions, and I think this is important.
One sentence on the protocol. It's not always a protocol, not just action. It can be economical one, because we know all our companies are really tight in money, and if someone is quitting because of harassment, she have money, because like that they understand this. They understand the money. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like the women always leave because we are exhausted, we don't want to fight and everything. We earn less.
Oh, no, I fight.
And if you are too tired to fight, but you leave because of harassment, maybe we can have a tool to prove it easily, not to have to prove yourself to be harassed and to lose your money. And that's a way to force the company who are not really putting effort in it to do something, because if someone quitting with this motive, they can ask for money, and we can have, I don't know, an institution coming in the company and look for everything and judge everything. The protocol can be that too, can be a tool to force the company, not only in the way to act, but in an economical way too.
Yeah, but this is country by country, because not in every country you can ask for money, not in every country.
I don't think you can ask for money in the way of the today, anywhere. For harassment, you can ask for it, but it's really hard. And we can make it easier with the internet protocol. You know what I mean? Because it's really a long way. In France, it's like 4 years. You want to have money and nobody gets it, because you have to prove that you were harassed. So
you have to prove everywhere. I don't think that if you go there and say, I was harassed. Oh, money. You want money?
How were you dressed?
For the, not inside the cooperation with the co-workers, but I think, what if we had always a camera on us, like the cops and the... When we have a concentration with a fire, she said, you can do it, yes.
Some privacy problem.
Yes. It's like the main key here is security and liberty.
Yes.
How many liberty you want and how many security you want. But it can be an option if someone is really insecure. If it's an option, it's not an obligation. It can be. Some people, I do it since sometimes when I was running late until midnight. I was so scared that I had it around.
In some moment can be useful, but I think that it's like, imagine it's your first day in this job, and someone gives to you the camera, turn on, always, use it. Why?
Okay, so I have a proposal because I think it would be nice if we did actually. So, because like the dynamic, like how we thought about it, but we can still like trying to figure out like the details about how to make it work. But maybe one option could be to keep this non-mixed group or this non-mixed topic for those that want to keep talking about this, like or for those that aren't here that wants to keep talking about this, and then we choose another two topics to also discuss with the people guys. But nice. So yeah, because it's going to be like, but one of the groups can be this to continue this discussion if you want.
Yes.
Okay. And now we can gather again like around 2:30 to 2:45 or something like this in 1 hour.
Here in the same room?
Yes, we can gather here and then see where.
Sure. It's okay. I will go on to note what is interesting. Okay. Tomorrow morning? Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Nice to meet you. Tomorrow it will be there.
Yes. Now if I take them out,
If you want, but you want to agree with that, but if you want, I can ask to my son and my husband to go if you want. Can go with you. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I understand.
He hasn't even had a nap.
Yeah.
So he's not used to that.
I propose.
No, thank you for that. I think it's very nice of you, but I think he would be scared.
Yeah, sure.
But like if they're around, if they come here, I'm sure they'd be free to play. It's just like watch too much.
So see you tomorrow.
Yes. Take you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
Sí, ya.
Vale, entonces. Porque creo que hay que igual que la señora Bueno, a ver, la idea era un poco hacer como crear un espacio de. A ver, ¿queréis hablar ahora? Vale, mi idea era aprovechar este espacio para tener a hablar, porque si nosotros estamos cortas, necesitamos más tiempo, necesitamos como 3 horas para hablar de los temas que nos vean como queramos. Pero es verdad que por un poco el foco, que es una buena siempre para que hable de género, y luego ir apuntando a los temas más relevantes, y para igual las tías de website para hacer el manifiesto de ese año. Entonces, si tienes por ahí con un grupo, igual una persona de website que sí sí, yo puedo cogerlo, igual hablo con Alexa.
No, yo no sé de coger, pero yo puedo coger notas.
Sí, o bueno, o coger notas tú para compartir.
Dios para es que se hace un grupo de líderes. Si se les pregunta qué entendéis por gender issues.
Eso hay que hablarlo de todas formas.
Y que hagan uno.
Claro, que son los sentidos y que alguien les pregunte qué entendéis por problemas.
Es que sí, porque claro, nosotros tenemos personas y la vamos a aprovechar y mucho nos faltaría. Pero ellos, 2 horas hablando de que esto es género, cosas que
bueno, pero si les dinamizas, estás metiendo mandanga y les estás metiendo movidas.
Yo haría un poco y un poco. Son 3 horas. Voy a hacer una hora. Pero seguir un poco este grupo es importante. Mucha gente no ha hablado, Mucha gente todavía no ha hablado.
Pues podemos mantener un grupo no mixto y que
o se puede hacer hora y media y hora y media.
Para que la gente termine un poquito antes,
claro,
y se vayan con la vida. Pero alargar tanto esto de ahora y dejar no sé.
De 3 horas que tenemos por la tarde, puede hacer una hora, si terminamos esto,
Yo creo
pero 2 horas.
que tiene que ser mixto y que tiene que haber participación. Y tal, si nos ha faltado tiempo y tal, guay, pero busquemos si lo sacamos de
Pero es
hoy
puse la comida,
o de otro
pero...
momento.
No, pero
mi opinión,
No, pero para mí, o sea, yo lo que estoy proponiendo es que hagamos diferentes grupos, porque ahora éramos dos hombres y todo el mundo ha hablado. Si juntamos a los hombres, van a haber 3. Entonces, si hacemos 3 o 4 grupos, o sea, podemos dedicar uno no mixto para que pudiera seguir hablando entre días. Y luego otros 3 mixtos y ahí vamos dinamizando diferentes temas.
Más que nada porque la cuestión de cuando uno se siente participado en el protocolo, o sea, en el manifiesto tiene que ver con esto. Yo creo que una cuestión de comunicación es el hacerlo abierto, sobre todo ahora que ya se tienen como cosas muy claras, ¿no? Como este punto así de que ha sido propuesto desde el punto de vista de...
A ver, también os digo otra cosa, las personas que han venido a este evento saben lo que the other people that is like, what the fuck is talking about, then you can come. They're coming after tomorrow.
Y no es la cuestión de quién tienes tú como género, sino por ejemplo ya cosas más concretas, porque tú a mí me preguntan por qué entiendo yo como género, igual me quiero pero hay situaciones concretas, ¿no? ¿Qué pasa en tu vida?
Podríamos preguntarles las mismas preguntas que nos hicimos en el
¿Qué pasa en tu entidad? ¿Qué pasa en tu entidad cuando ves que hay una situación de...
Seguir una hora más así y darles a ellos la posibilidad, porque nosotras ya hemos calentado, pero ellos llegan y se
contestar a esas preguntas.
Claro, entonces, a esta pregunta, a la que hemos llegado, porque tampoco hay muchas más. Entonces, igual sentarles a ellos durante una hora, en plan, vale, ¿qué respuesta le daríais a esta pregunta? Y luego juntarlo.
Y si cambiamos el orden, en el sentido de que también aprovecharemos la hora para ver cómo ha ido la intervención de esto por parte de los compis.
Okay, so you're saying that men will start being mixed and then only women, so we have like classes about how was it in the mix.
Y en paralelo, como decía, en paralelo, like,
first you do it mixed,
and
then the last hour is only for us to say,
vamos a comer lo que estamos
diferentes grupos y alguien que recoge ideas.
This is not
Vale.
to be able to talk about it. Sí, mejor, bueno. Yeah, sure. By the way, I'm Maria. I work in Madrid. I'm not from Madrid.
The very gathering
What's the name of the
Yes.
Ilina.
Oh, nice. Return of my life.
She really needs to make the...
Yeah?
When we make this...
Yeah.
Si on fait le document, c'est super important parce que tu vois, on a dit ça, mais après elle a expliqué parce qu'on lui a demandé qu'est-ce que tu feras avec ça, elle a dit oui, en septembre on aura ça.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised about that. Okay. Nice, well done. So you do cross-cycling? Yes, no, just okay.
Ce que j'entends, c'est que c'est le document c'était le...
Non, pas nécessairement.
For me, we do cross-cycling as a very but every time I get on the web pages,
au sens de que d'ici, il aura des catégories qui seront étudiées et qui ont